Well, speaking of another narrative that seems to be falling apart in the light of new facts. First off, after this program yesterday, it was announced, I believe it was announced, yes, was it after the program? That the U.S. has captured the suspected ringleader of the Benghazi attacks. Did we mention it yesterday?
We did mention it yesterday. Okay. Remember, it was a distraction from Benghazi?
Yes, it was a distraction from Benghazi, of course. Now, of course, it's 24 hours later. It's clear that it was not a distraction from Benghazi. It is quite clear, as the actor James Woods, also notorious a-hole from what I understand, has discovered that, in fact, the real reason why the United States captured the ringleader of the attack in Benghazi yesterday was not as a distraction from Benghazi or Iraq or Bo Bergdahl or Reverend Wright or the birth certificate or this. It was because Hillary Clinton is on a book tour and it's going to juice her book sales. See. And he is in show business, so of course he would know about these type of PR stunts. What we have not heard James Woods weigh in on is the fact that Abu Khatala has told American or has, as reported by eyewitnesses to the attack, that when he was gathering people on the day of the attack, which you'll recall on the day of the attack, September 11th, we had seen almost 14 different cities throughout the Middle East erupt in protests, some of which led people to climb over the walls of U.S. embassies, based on a video that had played on Egyptian cable television, because it was an example of Americans putting out videos that attacked, that would mock Islam. On the day of the attack, reports the New York Times, Islamists in Cairo had staged a demonstration outside the United States Embassy to protest the American-made online video. The protest culminated in a breach of the embassy's walls, images that flashed through news coverage around the Arab world. You can go back and read contemporaneous accounts. For those of you who are right-wingers, of course, I know that your eyes melt if you read the New York Times. I'm sure you can find it in other places that talk about that video. As the attack in Benghazi was unfolding a few hours later, Mr. Abu Khatala told fellow Islamist fighters and others he was a ringleader of a small band of Islamists considered a very local group, and to others that the assault was retaliation for the same insulting video, according to people who heard him. What? So let me get this straight. Hillary Clinton's book publicist arranges for this Khatala to be arrested on the day of her book tour launching, and then must have paid off people retroactively to say that it was about the video to further enhance Hillary Clinton's book sales. Do I have that right?
I think you do.
I think that must have been what happened. In an interview a few days later, he pointedly declined to say whether an offensive online video might indeed warrant the destruction of a diplomatic mission or the killing of the ambassador. From a religious point of view, he says it's hard to say whether it's good or bad, said Khatala.
Oh, man.
So there you have it. Of course, what we will hear now from the right-wingers is he has to be put into Guantanamo Bay so that he doesn't have the opportunity to speak in front of the Special Select Committee on whether or not there was an online video that day and Benghazi watchdog, let's sell some mugs and some tote bags commission. Now, of course, he cannot be sent to Guantanamo Bay because it is quite clear that military lawyers feel that he is not covered under the authorization for the use of military force. He was apprehended for an attack on that took place in Benghazi that had nothing to do with the 9/11 attacks of 2001. And it is more than likely, from a legal analysis, he needs to be tried in U.S. civilian courts. Of course, we know the record of convictions at Guantanamo Bay, which is, I think, what is it, 0 for however many have been tried to be convicted in that way? So jurisdiction matters here, folks. That will not prevent John McCain and Lindsey Graham from getting on your TV and telling us that we need to send this guy to Guantanamo Bay and attack Iraq and Benghazi.
My lord. Sam, just to clarify, look, was this to help Hillary's sales? Absolutely. But you're missing the trend line there a little bit. To help Hillary's sales helps get Benghazi out of the news, which helps get the VA out of... Frankly, I can't keep track of this anymore. I was in New York yesterday setting up a motorcade and screwing up everybody's day to distract from something. And I looked at Valerie Jarrett. I said, what are we distracted from at this point? I can't even follow it anymore. It's crazy.
There you
sort of like a meta-narrative in and of itself. I'm talking to you right now to distract from the fact that I talked to you last week. It's crazy.
It's all become just one large Escher painting.
Second term.
That's, yeah.
Second half of second term pretty soon.
What about the Redskins' name, Obama?
I mean, come on. I got to keep spelling everything out for you? You're the public shame guy. I come out, I say one thing about the Redskins, those people have friggin' aneurysms. I probably created more of the new emerging Democratic coalition by giving people heart attacks than everything else. It's unbelievable.